Her son blows out the candles. She watches through her phone screen, recording, both hands steady, thumb ready to stop the video the second it's over. Everyone claps. She claps too, phone still up. Later that night, she watches the footage back. Sharp. Good lighting. But something pulls tight in her chest. She can't remember what his face actually looked like, with her own eyes, in the real moment, not through a screen. Have you ever done that? Kept the video and missed the actual moment? There's something I want to tell you about that exact feeling, the tightness. 250 years ago, a scholar in Japan gave it a name. Not the moment itself, the thing that happens right before a person actually feels it, and the hand reaches for something else instead. You know this trade. Something real is happening right in front of you, and your hand moves before your heart does. Not because you don't care, because feeling it fully, all the way, is a little too much. So you film it, caption it, half watch it instead. I've watched people carry this their whole lives, collecting proof of moments they never actually let themselves have. 250 years ago, one scholar spent decades studying a single old book just to understand one thing. What does it mean to actually let something move you? He found an answer most people still get wrong today. People hear Mono no Aware and think they already know what it means. The beauty of cherry blossoms because they fall. A pretty kind of sadness. Something to post under a photo of autumn leaves. I've heard it explained that way more times than I can count. It's not wrong, exactly. It's just small. A corner of something much bigger, mistaken for the whole room. The scholar's name was Motoori Norinaga, Edo period. He spent over 30 years studying one book, an 11th century novel called The Tale of Genji, trying to understand what actually made it great. His answer surprised people at the time. He said the plot didn't matter. The politics, the court intrigue, none of it was the point. The point, he said, was this. Does the writing make you actually feel something real? And does it let you feel that honestly, instead of turning away from it? He didn't limit this to sadness. He didn't limit it to beauty either. He wrote that to truly know Mono no Aware is to be stirred by the essence of everything. The moon, the blossoms, yes, but also grief, also joy, also the ordinary weight of an ending. Here's the part almost nobody repeats. The word aware itself comes from a sigh, an exclamation. The sound a person makes when something genuinely reaches them, before language, before composure, before they've decided how they're supposed to react. Mono no Aware was never a mood to admire from a safe distance. It was a discipline. The discipline of letting things actually land, instead of filtering them, framing them, capturing them for later so you don't have to feel them now. Let's call her Yuki. The birthday video isn't new. She's been doing this for years. Not just birthdays, first steps, a school play, the look on her husband's face when he opened a gift she'd spent months choosing. All of it watched first through a 4-inch screen, framed and studied and captured before it was ever actually felt. She'd tell you she's just being thoughtful, making memories, something to look back on. Here's what she doesn't notice. She has hundreds of videos now, years of footage. She almost never watches any of them again. What she's actually built isn't a memory archive. It's a habit of stepping half a beat outside of her own life, right at the moment it matters most, trading the feeling for the proof of the feeling. One evening, her son runs up to show her a drawing, something small made at school that day, a little lopsided, clearly his. Her hand goes for her phone. Reflex. And then she stops. Doesn't know exactly why. She looks at the drawing instead. Just looks. No screen between them. Her son is talking, fast, explaining every detail. That's the sun, that's our dog, that's you, Mommy. And she realizes she doesn't actually know the last time she heard him like this, really heard him, not half listening while something else had her attention. Her chest does that thing again, the tightness. Except this time, she doesn't reach for anything. She just stays in it. This is what Norinaga was actually pointing at, not a philosophy for admiring sad, pretty things from a distance, a discipline for staying in the room when something real is happening to you. Her hand is still hovering near her pocket. The reflex doesn't just vanish because she noticed it once. Some part of her is already composing the caption. He drew us again, my heart. She almost reaches for it anyway, just to have it, just in case, just this once won't hurt. But she doesn't. Not because she's suddenly disciplined or because she read something that changed her. Just because this one time she catches herself reaching and asks for half a second, reaching for what exactly? To keep this or to leave it? That's the whole thing Norinaga was pointing at. Not a rule, not willpower, just that half second of catching yourself mid-reach and asking what you're actually reaching for. She looks at the drawing instead. Then she says something back, asks him about the dog, why it's orange, why it has 5 legs. He laughs, fixes the leg count right there, correcting the drawing with his finger in the air. She has no video of that conversation, no proof it happened the way she'd usually think of proof. But she remembers his laugh, the exact sound of it. She remembers it the way you remember something that actually reached you, not something you filed away to feel later. That's the whole shift. Not more remembering, more feeling, right when it's actually available to you. I still think about that scholar sometimes. 30 years on one book just to understand a single feeling. Years later, I met a woman who told me about a habit she'd started. Small, almost nothing. Once a day, she puts her phone in another room. Not for long, just for whatever is happening right then. Dinner, a walk, her daughter reading out loud, badly, sounding out words one at a time. She told me she used to think she was collecting her life. Now she just lives it for that one stretch of time and lets it go, the way you let a held breath go once it's finally been felt all the way through. She still takes photos, still keeps some of them, but she knows the difference now, she says, between capturing a moment and actually having one. Perhaps Mono no Aware was never about loving things because they fade. Perhaps it was always just this, showing up all the way for however long a thing is actually